So today we're going to look further at this concept of harvesting electrical energy. And the question we're answering today is, why do batteries look so different? Okay, this is actually the first time I think I've used the word battery. So far we've been talking about cells, electrochemical cells, galvanic cells, voltaic cells. Those are all meaning the same thing. The galvanic and the voltaic cell in particular is a type of electrochemical cell in which the oxidation reduction reaction that's separated is a spontaneous reaction. Okay, it's a reaction, it's a type of a cell in which you can extract electrical energy. Okay, now I don't think you guys have probably ever seen a battery that looks like that. Two beakers with some kind of U-tube and wires sticking out of it and everything with your little light bulb up there. Maybe your teacher has demonstrated one in the lab. You can see videos. You see it on the animation that you were supposed to look at, but you don't have one at your house probably. Rather, what you've seen when it comes to batteries is something like this. And so what's happened is, once the scientists and engineers understood the basic concept, then all kinds of design has come from that basic oxidation reduction concept to give us batteries and voltaic cells that meet the needs of our modern society. So this is your classic, what was called a dry cell battery. This is a car battery, oftentimes called a lead acid storage battery. And then here's just a whole smattering of different sizes and shapes of batteries. These little discs are often found in watches and cameras and whatnot. And then you've got your regular batteries that you might see in in flashlight or portable electronics of some sort. Okay, so there's all different types of designs, and it comes out of what purpose and what device your mobile electricity is going to serve. Okay, so here's an example of what the inside of a dry cell looks like. What's called a dry cell. And notice we use the word, I mean, in the industry they use the word dry cell, Duracell, Everready. They use the word battery, but in the strictest sense, these are just cells, single cells, electrochemical cells. Okay, so, but what you'll find when we start going through this is some of the words are familiar to the words that we saw in the electrochemical cells that we looked at before. For example, there's an anode and a cathode for every cell. In this case, a dry cell, like a type of battery that you've probably handled before. At the cathode, you're going to have reduction occurring. At the anode, you're going to have oxidation. So this is where we produce the electrons, and this is where we sort of consume the electrons. And those two reactions are physically separated, although it's hard to tell because the battery is from the outside just like looks like one single device. In this case, it's a zinc manganese battery, and the zinc is right here. It's literally the casing of the battery is usually made of zinc, and then this blue in here is the electrolyte, which should be serving as the salt bridge, and then the inside here is a graphite electrode, so that's going to be an inert electrode, and then there's this manganese oxide paste right next to the electrode. So the manganese is what's undergoing reduction, the zinc is what's undergoing oxidation, and then to complete the circuit, the ions can flow one way or the other through this potassium hydroxide paste here. So anyway, the electrons are produced at the zinc at the anode. They travel in this direction around. You put something in between the two ends of the battery to connect the circuit. In this case, they got a little light bulb, and then it's connected to this cathode, which is the graphite inert cathode. Okay, so in this case, you can see all the parts that we talked about in the previous example with the anode compartment, the cathode compartment, the salt bridge, the flow of electrons through the external circuit. This is the same thing we have here. It's just packaged differently and engineered in such a way that you don't need solutions of water. The paste there's a little bit of water in the paste, enough such that the electrons can be mobile in both cases. Okay, and the ions can be mobile. So that's an example of how a dry cell battery and what it looks like.